What's going on YouTube? R10 here, coming to you guys with a different sort of video today. I know you guys are probably used to the solo PvP vids by now, but a lot of you guys have been asking me to do a build video, so you ask and you receive, guys. This is the build that I'm using 99% of the time if you run into me in game. As you can obviously see, it is a 9k Stam Striker build, but it is made to counter Predator's Mark and to server fight solo. And I'm going to go over my character tab real quick just to show you why this counter spread. My max health is 398,515. We're going to round that to 400,000, guys, and then just keep that number in mind because we're going to do some basic math later on. Armor is 808,000, 33.5% is what it's mitigating. All my gear pieces are optimized, by the way, so that's why I have 33.5 and my stats look the way they do. If your gear is not completely optimized, the stats may look a little bit different, so just keep that in mind. Going down to the two more important stats, or most important stats for the build, EDR is at 43%, which is the max you can get without running a final measure piece, and then bleed resistance, which is 50%, which will cut the amount of ticks I receive in half. You guys, if you don't run any, you'll be getting ticked 6 times by Pred. I only get ticked 3. I know 6-piece Predator's Mark says it ignores bleed resistance, but I don't know if it's a bug in the game or it's working as intended, but bleed resistance does in fact work against 6-piece Pred, so feel free to use that at your own discretion. Even if you don't run EDR, if you want to run some sort of bleed resistance to kind of get ticked less, it'll still chunk you like crazy, but you won't bleed as much, so just keep that in mind, guys. Back to the gear pieces. So obviously, this being a 9k Stam build, you're going to be pretty tanky, right? But I get a lot of accusations thrown on me. If you guys have watched my previous videos, people wonder how I'm so tanky and I do so much damage, and to be honest with you guys, the damage comes just from the guns. So pretty much this gun is the key to the damage, the house. I know you guys are pretty much familiar with the house by now, but I'm going to go over mine. It is Deadly Unforgiving, which is the standard house for 9k Stam Strike, and then the Broken Card Counter Talent, which is 1/2 of the magazine does 20% increased damage. So just think about this, guys. Even though I only have 4k firearms, right, and the base weapon damage, this is with card counter activated, by the way, 20.4. Normally it's at 17, so with card counter activated it's 20.4, and then if I, let's say, pop a booster, right, to start the fight off, let me see if I can switch and get card counter back really quick. Any day now, huh? Now it doesn't want to work. Anyway, I'm just gonna ignore this. So when you do have card counter activated, it's at 20, and then with the booster you're probably close to about 23k base weapon damage with 4k firearms, which is insane. So that with stacks, you can just rip straight through people even though you're 9k Stam. People don't understand that you don't need to run a 7.6 striker to do damage. You can do damage with 9k stamina striker. The problem is you have to land shots and get stacks. If you can aim, you can use this build. It's that simple. The lightweight M4, people ask me what talents do I run on it. Do I run 2 damage guns? The answer to that is no. This is a resource gun, so I use my lightweight M4 to keep myself healed. So predatory, sustain, determine. I'm going to go over why I use each talent here because I want to go really in depth with this build video, because to be quite honest with you guys, I'm kind of tired of people calling me a hacker and saying I'm using stamina glitches, etc, etc. I'm just going to break down exactly how I play the build so you guys understand how I'm staying alive so long against multiple players. Predatory, killing a target regenerates 35% of your health over 20 seconds. And then sustain, killing a target increases your health by 6%. So those two talents alone, right? 6%, right? I told you we're going to do some basic math. 6% of 400,000 is 24%. You can use a calculator to verify. So 24,000 health back anytime I shoot or melee someone with this gun, on top of the fact that I'm already regenerating 35% of my health over 20 seconds with predatory, on top of the fact that 9k striker stacks heal considerably more than 6k. If you guys have never tried 9k Stam Striker out, you should see how much the healing is. That with these two talents alone is like overkill with the healing. On top of that, there's consumables. I know a lot of people don't really use their consumables, but you should. So canned food on top of this just makes you so tanky, it's unbelievable. You're just constantly regenerating health, and I mean 2 or 3 people could be shooting you at the same time and you're probably still out healing the damage, depending on what type of builds they're using. Should I go over the sidearm for you guys? I don't really use mine, but I'll show you anyway, and I'll tell you why I don't use it anyway. So I do have resource talents on my sidearm as well. I've got sustained and predatory on my sidearm, but for me it's just too much of a hassle. I can't shoot people from long range with a sawed-off shotgun, and I don't feel like running up through people shooting me to melee someone just to loot. So basically, any health that I would gain from predatory and sustain on the sawed-off, I just lose by running up to the player to melee him with the sawed-off, which is why I use it on my secondary. But that's up to personal preference. If you guys feel like you can do it with the sawed-off, use that, and you can have 2 damage guns. For me, I use it on my secondary. I'm going to go over the gear pieces now. So my chest piece is 16,000 health, EDR, stamina roll with ammo capacity, exactly what you want, God roll chest piece. And then the stamina mods on my gear pieces are all exactly the same, guys. 262 stamina with EDR. So I'm not going to show you the mods on all the gear pieces. They are all the same EDR with stam. The mask is stam roll, EDR burn resistance, God roll, exactly what you want. The knee pads are stam roll, EDR, shock, bleed, disorient. I would swap disorient resistance for burn resistance, and they'd be God roll in my opinion, but you know, it's all personal preference there with the minor attributes. The backpack is stam, crit damage, bleed resistance. This is God roll in my opinion, but crit damage is subject to change depending on the type of player you are. So for me, I want to get as much damage on this build as possible because, like I said, I'm only running 4K firearms, so I do roll crit damage here. But if you don't want to do more damage, or you don't necessarily care about the damage, you can roll health here on the backpack, make yourself a little bit more tanky, probably put your toughness up to around 610, 615k toughness. The gloves are firearms roll, the only firearms piece on the build. 1401, crit damage, crit chance, SMG damage. Since the house is the main gun I use, this is exactly what you want. None of this can be changed. And then the holster is 1401 across the board with crit chance rolled here, and again, this is subject to change depending on your playstyle. So like I said, I want to do damage. I'm already sacrificing a lot of damage to get EDR and bleed resistance everywhere, so I roll crit chance on the holster and I roll crit damage on the backpack to kind of make up for that at least a little bit, you know, because I'm a really aggressive player. I like to do damage, so I got damage where I can get it. If you guys want, you could roll health here as well, get your toughness probably up to like 620. You'll be even tankier than I am. So I'm gonna break this down with my talents as well. So if I go to my talents, triage I normally don't run. I'm just testing it out right now to see if it helps with cooldowns at all. But normally I'd say I'd probably run like 1 is none, right? So 1 is none, crit save. When I use a medkit in my last segment of health, my damage resistance is increased by 20% for 10 seconds, right? So if you stack crit save with on the move, right? So if I pop a medkit, get crit save, and then I kill someone with my lightweight M4, if I shoot them down, right, and then I get an increased 15%, right, damage resilience for 10 seconds. So I'm at 35% damage resilience on top of the fact that I just got 24,000 health back by shooting you with my lightweight M4 from sustained, on top of the fact that I'm getting predatory, on top of the fact that I got striker stacks, on top of the fact that I probably have a canned food pod. I'm just literally a walking tank with this build, and that's how I'm able to out sustain pred and multiple players shooting me. So yeah, guys, that's the build, that's the mentality when I play it. So I'm just gonna get into some clips now. Hope you guys enjoy.
Oh, I see.
I'll report you.
You what? You what?
I see.
I'll
I
report
see.
you.
You report me for what?
Yeah, I'll report you, motherfucker.